Hi, I'm John Holden.
And I'm Andrea Ocampo.
Welcome to Earth. Our next story takes us here to the wide open range of West Texas, known for cattle ranches, agriculture, sagebrush, and lots of oil wells. You know, a ton of money has been made in the oil industry since oil was discovered in this area back in the 1950s, and a ton of oil waste as well. But today, oil waste is being sequestered deep underground in ways that you can hardly imagine, as you're about to see. Many oil and gas companies have committed to long-term net zero greenhouse gas emission targets, but the common practice of on-site waste disposal releases large amounts of carbon and volatile organic compounds, creating air, land, and groundwater pollution. Today, it's estimated that up to 90% of Texas drilling operations still use reserve pits on the drilling location. Now, regulations exist in some parts of the country that allow companies to dispose of energy waste by burying it in the ground near where it's generated. But what's in this waste? Hydrocarbons, heavy metals, and contaminants like benzene, arsenic, and lead, which are natural to our planet but are in higher concentrations in the energy waste. It's not something any landowner wants on their land, including landowners like Carlos Dusek.
When I came out here, some of the wells that were drilled in the first part of the early part of the 70s covered up, the drill pit was there right beside it. It took 40 to 45 years for that land to become productive again. It took that long to leach the ground out where it would grow anything. We've got to continue with producing energy, but we've got to continue to find methods of keeping this land safe, keeping it unpolluted for the next generation and wildlife and everything else that depends on this land.
Fortunately, a viable solution already exists, pioneered by a company called Milestone Environmental Services. Milestone's proprietary slurry injection process permanently sequesters oil and gas waste deep underground, eliminating the risk of groundwater contamination while safely reducing greenhouse gas emissions.
Soil contamination and groundwater contamination really affect the people that live in this immediate area. And so we help avoid soil and groundwater contamination by managing the waste in the right way. We now have a total of 8 facilities in the Permian. More than 90% of the waste we take ultimately ends up going into our injection wells. We've got more facilities than anybody else. We've got the highest market share in this basin, and we're continuing to build.
10 years ago, there were very few off-site disposal facilities in the Texas Permian Basin. Today, there are so many that almost every drilling rig in the region is less than a 30-minute drive to an off-site disposal facility. This facility, located near the tiny town of Midkiff, Texas, south of Midland, is helping oil producers reach their carbon emission reduction goals.
The facility itself occupies less than 5 acres of land. But we're able to process enough material here so that we can help our customers avoid spreading waste over thousands and thousands of acres of Permian Basin property. We're able to take at this facility anywhere up to 20,000 barrels a day of contaminated fluid that comes from the oil and gas industry, and we're able to do it in a very small footprint, and that's part of the benefit that we provide. We've really built the infrastructure throughout the Permian Basin with this facilities and 7 others just like it across the basin to be able to manage this waste and be able to consolidate it all, treat it, and safely sequester it 7,000 feet below our feet.
In 2022 alone, Milestone sequestered CO2 equal to the carbon emitted by nearly 90,000 vehicles, driving over 1 billion miles. From an environmental standpoint, that's a significant alternative to reserve pits.
If we want to continue to have oil and gas in this industry around by 2030, 2050, we need to do it in an environmentally responsible way. And oil and gas companies are receiving a lot of pressure to be as responsible as they possibly can. When they partner with Milestone and they bring us their waste and we dispose of it responsibly by injecting it 7,000 feet below us, there's no better way to dispose of your waste.
And it's great that Milestone has come up with a method of injecting this slurry below ground. It'll just quit all this pollution that's scattered around at every drill site. And there are thousands of drill sites in the area.
One of the important things about what we do is we're taking a lot of hydrocarbons out of this waste stream and actually putting them back in the ground. So in some ways, we're an oil and gas company in reverse. We're sequestering carbon to the tune of about 40 to 50,000 tons a month, and that we're keeping out of the environment.
We now know that, at least for the near future, producing oil and gas is really essential to our modern society. But it's good to know there's now proven cost-effective ways to, well, dealing with environmental issues for this massive industry of oil and gas. I'm John Holden. Thanks for watching.